What if the most powerful gaming device in your living room next year isn't a PlayStation, an Xbox, or a massive PC tower, but a tiny black box sitting quietly under your TV? No fan noise, no discs, no huge price tag, just one small device that streams, thinks, listens, and now possibly plays real console-level games. That idea sounds crazy, but if the latest leaks are even half true, the next Apple TV 4K could become one of the biggest surprise upgrades Apple has ever pulled off. For years, the Apple TV has lived in a strange place. It has always been fast, smooth, and polished, but also ignored by most people. It was just a streaming box. A very good one, but still something people bought once and forgot about. The current Apple TV 4K came out back in 2022. In tech time, that feels like a lifetime ago. Phones, tablets, laptops, even watches have moved on several generations since then. Yet the Apple TV stayed frozen in time. Throughout 2025, the rumors kept coming. A new Apple TV is coming. It's launching with the iPhone. No, it's delayed to October. Actually, maybe November. Then silence. 2025 ended with no new Apple TV at all. And that delay is exactly why the next one matters so much. Because Apple didn't cancel it. According to multiple reports, including Bloomberg, Apple simply pushed it forward to align with something much bigger. That something is Apple Intelligence. Apple is rebuilding its entire software experience around this idea. A smarter Siri, on-device AI, context awareness, real understanding, not just voice commands. And Apple wants this to live everywhere. On your phone, on your Mac, on your watch, and yes, on your TV. This is where the next Apple TV 4K changes from nice upgrade to wait. This changes everything. Buried inside these leaks is one detail that completely flips the story. The next Apple TV 4K is rumored to use the A17 Pro chip, and that one line is doing a lot of work. The A17 Pro is not a random processor. It's the same chip Apple used in the iPhone 15 Pro lineup. And when Apple launched that phone, they didn't talk about social media or casual mobile games. They went on stage and showed full AAA console games running natively on a phone. Not streamed, not simplified, not cloud-based. Real console titles running locally. We're talking about Resident Evil 4 Remake, Resident Evil Village, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Death Stranding, Hitman World of Assassination, Sniper Elite 4, and more recently, Red Dead Redemption. These are not mobile games. These are full console experiences with full assets, full physics, full gameplay. And they run on a phone. Now stop for a second and think about that. If a chip can do that inside a thin phone, with battery limits and heat constraints, what happens when you put that same chip into a box that sits under your TV, plugged into the wall, with better cooling and no power limits? That's when the Apple TV stops being just a streaming box. That's when it starts looking like a casual console. Apple has already prepared the rest of the puzzle pieces. tvOS already supports PlayStation controllers. It supports Xbox controllers. You don't need to buy anything new. You grab the controller you already own, pair it once, and it just works. This support has been there quietly for years, waiting. Apple Arcade was the early test. Family games, indie titles, smaller experiences. It taught Apple how people play games on TV without thinking of it as a console. But Apple Arcade was never the end goal. It was the foundation. If Apple flips the switch and says, you can now play Assassin's Creed, Resident Evil, and Red Dead Redemption directly on your Apple TV, the conversation changes overnight. Suddenly, this isn't competing with a Fire TV stick or a Roku anymore. It's in a completely different category. And here's the key part. Apple doesn't even need to call it a console. They won't. They don't have to. They just let it exist. For a huge number of people, this would be more than enough gaming power. People who don't want to spend hundreds on a console. People who don't want another box, another ecosystem, another subscription. They already have an Apple TV. They already have a controller. They already have the screen. Now add Apple Intelligence on top of that. This is the second reason the A17 Pro matters so much. Apple Intelligence is not designed for older chips. It needs serious on-device performance, real neural engines, fast memory AC, SES, secure processing. The A17 Pro is one of the first chips built specifically with this future in mind. So imagine how your living room experience changes. You're no longer talking to a dumb voice assistant that barely understands keywords. You're having a real conversation. You say, "Find me something like The Last of Us, but shorter episodes, trending right now, and not too dark." And it actually works. You say, "Show me games I can play tonight with 2 controllers that are okay for kids." And it filters properly. You say, "Resume the game I was playing on my iPhone but on the TV." And it picks up exactly where you left off. You say, "Build a watch list my family will actually finish." And it learns over time. This is where Apple TV becomes the brain of your living room. Not just another HDMI input, not just another app launcher, a real hub. And this is why the delay makes sense. Apple didn't want to ship a new Apple TV without the software that makes it special. They want the hardware and the intelligence to arrive together. Timing-wise, early 2026 fits perfectly. Apple is expected to roll out its revamped Siri and Apple Intelligence across devices next year. Launching a new Apple TV in spring 2026, maybe March or April, lines up with that strategy. New software, new hardware, one clear message. Now, let's be realistic. This will not replace a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X for hardcore gamers overnight. The game library is still smaller. Some studios will never port their games. Competitive esport players will still want dedicated hardware. But that's not the point. The point is that Apple doesn't need to win everyone. It just needs to win enough people to matter. And if millions of Apple TV users suddenly realize they can play real AAA games without buying another console, that audience grows fast. Developers follow users. Always. This is how platforms grow. Slowly, quietly, then suddenly. And even if you never touch a game, the Apple TV 4K still benefits. Faster performance, better AI recommendations, smarter Siri, smoother interface, longer support life, a box you buy once and forget about for years. My honest opinion? If Apple delivers what these leaks suggest, the next Apple TV 4K could become one of the most underrated Apple products of the decade. Not flashy, not loud, just incredibly capable. The kind of device you don't think about until you realize everything else feels outdated. A streaming box, a casual console, an AI assistant, all in one small square. And that's the powerful combination. If you like the video, subscribe, share the video, and hit the bell icon.